Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to Let's Play Shovel Knight. Last time we faced a bunch of optional bosses and defeated Plague Knight. Today we are starting off with another optional boss, the Bazoo, who I was not expecting to show up in Shovel Knight. This boss is based off of Zubaz, who was a rejected character concept from Street Fighter 2, who Matt and Wooly from Fighterpedia and Two Best Friends loved so much that they backed a bunch of Kickstarters and essentially got him put into a couple of games, notably Dive Kick, Kaiju Combat, and now Shovel Knight. Oh, and goddamn, this fight's really fun too. It's probably my favorite optional boss fight, not just for the fact that it's so weird and surreal to see Zubaz show up. It's just a generally really fun fight, especially once he hits, I think it's about half health. And my chicanery will no longer work, my shenanigans. So for now, he's just gonna do his rope swings, and the Storm himself sends lightning bolts across the ground when he lands. This point, though, it starts getting really interesting, because you see lightning is constantly striking him, and it's discharging from his body 4 ways at 4 diagonal angles. Makes it really hard to do what I'm doing right now, which is just, staying on top of him and pogoing. And that was way, way closer than it should have been, but goddamn. Fun fight. Really, really fun. Yeah, much closer than it should have been, actually. I just looked at my health. 1.5 orbs. Yeah. The reckless style in... Oh, never, ever, ever! Never, ever! Oh, I love it. I'm so glad they got Zubaz into this. And if you hit him a bunch of times, he cries crystal tears. Gives you a bit of money. Oh man, and his like little temper tantrum animation is so smooth. Weird thing to compliment, but it's true. Oh shit, this game is good. So good. Praise the Troupple King for all of this game's many, many great attributes. All hail the Troupple King. Long may his stem grow. Really the most forced salute to the Troupple King I could have gotten in there. Now we're gonna head into Mole Knight's stage. This is where you actually start to see some really cool gimmicks take effect. Not that Plague Knight stage was necessarily bad, or neither was Spectre Knights or King Knights, but here, I think you get one of the most pronounced and one of the coolest gimmicks later in the stage, which has to do with, obviously this being a lava level, it has to do with the way you platform your way around the death lava pits. Also, I believe since I picked this move up last episode, this is the first time I want to say we're seeing it in action. The charge attack that you get off of that shovel upgrade I got. So if you perform 2 pogos in a row, you get a charged attack that does double damage. And it has a much wider range than the normal attack too. So while we're waiting for the beetle to cross the lake of lava, I want to talk a little bit about how Yacht Club put this all together. And there's a little chest up here. How they tried to be really authentic and true to the Nintendo's, the original NES's limitations and aesthetics, while going just far enough outside of those boundaries to kind of make it playable and good on modern hardware. David D'Angelo from Yacht Club wrote this blog post over at Gamasutra. It's a really good read, by the way. I'll link to it in the description. And it breaks down how they envisioned Shovel Knight and how they worked within and beyond the limits of the NES to kind of realize Shovel Knight, the vision for it. And they kind of talked about how they went beyond what the NES was capable of, only in, like, extraordinary circumstances. Obviously, stuff like the resolution, you wouldn't find... the resolution of Shovel Knight you wouldn't find in an NES game. It just wasn't possible. The size of the game, Shovel Knight would never fit on a cartridge. I think he even gave an example. He said something to the effect of, the soundtrack would fit on an NES cartridge, but it would have to be to the absence of any gameplay or visuals. So, yeah, I mean, stuff like the size of the game and the resolution, those are the big things that obviously aren't completely fuck. Didn't mean to do that. Those things aren't completely authentic, but for the most part, it adheres pretty well to the NES's limitations. Let me get back up here and... Oh shit. That's not what I wanted to do. Not gonna be able to grab my gold now. Unless... Hold on, let me finish him off. Maybe the blocks will reappear if I go back. No. Shit. Ah, that's not good. Oh, well, I just lost all that gold because now I can't get back up to that optional area where I just died. So, anyway, things like the fidelity of the music, that would have been totally possible on the NES, believe it or not. The Japanese NES, anyway. The Japanese Famicom had... It was compatible with certain certain chips you could put in the cartridges, which could do things like add extra sound channels. But again, they were only compatible with the Japanese version of the NES, the Famicom. So, taking that into account, the music would have been totally possible on the NES. File sizes aside. They do a few more subtle things that the NES couldn't really do, like parallax scrolling, which is basically like when the layer in the background appears to be far off in the distance, because it's scrolling slower than the stuff in the foreground, it gives the illusion of 3D space on a 2D plane. That screen, by the way, hitting the goo into the lava there in that last bit, that's one of my favorite parts of the whole game. One of my favorite screens, I should say. It's just a really clever little platforming puzzle. Let's see what else. What else did they do? I'm not gonna try to attack that guy. I'll die. I'll let him fall into the lava. Yeah, the NES couldn't do parallax scrolling, really. So that was one limitation they had overcome. And just kind of break away from the design ethos of make this as true to the NES as possible. Let's see, there's no sprite flickering. They kind of cheated a little with the color palette. Only a little bit, though. This seems way more colorful than any NES game, but actually, it's only using a couple of extra colors that weren't on the NES's palette. I think the color palette for the NES included, what, 54 colors? I don't remember the specifics, but I know technically it's 64, but only 54 that were unique and usable or something to that extent. Shovel Knight cheats by having only four extra colors in its palette. That's pretty fucking remarkable how much of a difference that makes. They even kind of follow the color limitation for sprites. The NES had a limit of, what was it, 4 colors per sprite? Yeah, it was 4, or 3 in an alpha channel, I think. But the devs used to, back in the day, get around that limit by overlaying 2 sprites on top of each other, which each use different colors. The really good example that David gave in that article was the sprites for Mega Man. Classic Mega Man, his head is a different sprite overlaid on the body. So the character is actually made up of 6 colors, because it's 2 sprites. So they decided to limit the Shovel Knight sprites to about 5 to 6 colors each, as if they were multiple sprites overlaid on the same, multiple sprites comprising the same sprite. So yeah, they went with the color limit of 5 or 6 colors per sprite to stick with what was technically possible to achieve on the NES. It's really cool that they had this vision for what an NES game would look like if it were developed in 2014. And that just goes that has more to do with, like, the game design. If it came out in 2014, how would this game be designed? How would it be modernized and updated? Really, really cool ideas, though. And I think I said this in the very beginning of the LP, but what I love about Shovel Knight is it has this retro aesthetic to it. It has, like, the nostalgia for the NES and the desire to stick within those limits is baked into the game itself. It's very much intentional, but it doesn't coast on just being a nostalgia trip. There is so goddamn much craft here. The game design is so good, the level design so good, that it doesn't just go, oh hey, we're a retro, nostalgic, 8-bit pixel art platformer, just like the old days. It doesn't just coast on that. It's just a legit good game. No matter what it's based on, no matter what it tries to, no matter what retro limitations it tries to adhere to, it's just so goddamn good. But with that tirade out of the way, I'm wondering if I should go back to the village or if I should hit up Treasure Knight. I think I'm gonna go and turn this in to the Bard, and then I might make another trip to the armor outpost, the armorer. I'm not sure. There's definitely nothing I want in town right now. I'm gonna keep this Chaos Sphere, since it didn't really play into the Mole Knight fight, which I didn't really even talk about. Sorry about that if you wanted to hear my thoughts on Mole Knight. Kind of a tricky fight until you realize that once he lands from his, the attack where he's gliding across the screen, you can get so many of those pogo attacks in while he's firing off those stacks of blocks at you. Other than that, it's a pretty simple fight. Kind of a fun one, though. Not a bad fight. So we'll get that upgrade. We have one more shovel upgrade left. And I'll be back soon enough. One of the only really huge flaws I've noticed with Shovel Knight is that money kind of becomes irrelevant around the halfway mark in the game. You just reach a point where you're getting so much money so easily that it never becomes a problem being able to afford anything. And to add to that, you can buy all of the armors and it'll maybe take you an extra level or two worth of beating the bosses, but you're never starved for money. You're never like, okay, you're at the end of the game and I have to choose between this and this with my last couple thousand gold. You just kind of hit the point around the halfway mark where you're like, okay, I have bought everything I need, I can afford everything, I have all this excess money. And that kind of... it's a problem for more than one reason. Because the game's penalty system is based around penalizing you monetarily. It's based around making... it ramps up the tension by making you fear death through the loss of your currency. But the fact that currency becomes irrelevant so early in the game makes the tension dissipate a little bit, because you fear dying a lot less. Oh shit! Oh shit! Thank God for invincibility frames. Nevertheless, you don't want to have to go back to a checkpoint if you don't have to, but... I mean, the design is such that... oh, shit, spikes. Yeah, the design is spikes. It's such that they're encouraging you to fear death because you don't want to lose a chunk of your money. It's the same design philosophy as what you find in Dark Souls, except a lot less punitive. Here you're only losing a percentage of your maximum gold on death, and you get checkpoints much more frequently. But the overall goal of that is still the same. It's to make you fear death because you don't want to lose your money. Still, the game could have significantly bigger problems, all things considered. So, if I have any leftover money, I'm probably just gonna go on a shopping spree and buy all the armor. Oh, wait, I think I did this in the wrong order. Yeah, I want to drop down onto this platform first and take this guy out, and then jump back up, and then on this tentacle's head. Looks like a head, it looks like it has eyes. Then again, could just be tentacles. I don't know. And again, the whole soundtrack's just amazing. This chest is way too conveniently placed to not be a big-ass anglerfish. Okay. This auto-scroller is probably my least favorite part of the game. There's so many ways for this little dopey section to go wrong. Oh, shit, there's one of them. Come on, up. Okay, I'm at the end of it. And now, this treasure chest opens up and you can start hitting that glowy weak point inside. I'm missing too much. I would like to get some charged hits off. Like that. And one more. Yeah. Now we can finally claim the prize inside. It's Chester. Hey, Chester, what's up? Oh, and he sells us a new relic now, the anchor, which you saw the purple palette swap knights throwing at us. And the anchor is a pretty good piece of magic. It's a pretty good sub-weapon. Just gonna take everything out with it. It's super good. Oh, shit. Stingrays. They came for Steve Irwin, now they're coming for me. And once again, we'll never, ever miss a beat on the Steve Irwin jokes. I don't know how stingrays have become such a common occurrence in games. But it is what it is, I guess. There's nowhere to go with that thought. Oh shit! I jumped way too early. Way too early. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, our checkpoint's back here. So once again, have to deal with the stingrays on the ladder. Oh, and you can just side shovel, which I neglected to do last time. Wait, what? Oh shit! I think I moved like a pixel too far forward and stepped onto the spikes instead of jumping onto the ladder. It took me a second to realize what happened. Ah, that's embarrassing. Take out all that anger on the stingray. Yeah, you can juggle those projectiles and you can hit them back at the enemies. Shit, I just lost myself some gold. Oh well. Like I said, it's not that big of an issue though. Let's not jump too early again though. Yeah, it's not too big of a problem losing that gold. Nope. Almost got blasted by the torpedo platforms. And, shit! Doing really bad in Treasure Knight stage. Okay. Damn it. Damn it! Maybe want to pay a little bit more attention here. Okay. Wait for him, and wait again. There we go. And one more round of waiting. Okay, I've gotten through the simple section. Relatively unharmed. Relatively unharmed. Ah, this anchor is so good. Yeah. Before I shoot that platform off to the next screen, let's get this treasure. Make up the deficit for some of what I lost so far in this stage. This screen, the first time I did this, I had a harder time with this screen than anything else in the game. Not just this screen, but this whole section over here. And I, for the life of me, can't remember what kept killing me now, the first time I did this. Let's see if I have as hard of a time with it as I did before. This warlock? Sorcerer? Wizard? Something? Witch? I don't know. Just gonna harass me. Oh, yeah! You get killed by the anchor. Gotta wait. You just have to wait for him to come back up. They trigger as soon as you're next to them. Yeah, I have no idea what could have gotten me killed so many times the first time I did that. I'm... okay. Kind of flabbergasted by that. My own incompetence on my first playthrough. We will just skip fighting that. Because there's not really a good reason to fight that knight. Or this one, really. Then again, I could have just fought him and not taken, what, 2 or 3 hits there? That would have worked out fine, too. Luckily, there's some wall chicken down here. I don't know why I keep calling it wall chicken. It's never once been in the wall so far. Too much Castlevania. Oh. That ricochet is really cool. I don't know if I'm going to take damage if I jump into that gray snail. Oh no, it was this screen I'm thinking of. I died so many times thinking there was a trick to this. And the trick is just to hit the exploding wall as you're flying across the screen right before it can get the chance to knock you off. I thought there was some other trick to it. And hey, it's Delta! What's up, Delta? Haven't seen you since Bioshock 2. This is one of the more interesting bosses we fought so far. I think in the refight, there are spikes on the ceiling as well. Yeah, it does have Mega Man style refights. Let's see. Oh shit, I should have stayed on the ground and jumped that. I go to the pogo attack maybe too much, but I like it too much is the problem. It's so fun and it's so good. Oh, nah. Yeah, I mistimed that time. I think it's probably gonna hit me every time. That treasure chest? He just throws these shurikens in a bubble out while that vortex tries to pull you in, but you can get a lot of damage off in that phase and end the fight pretty quick. Not as sloppy as some of my other boss fights. I want to try to make them less sloppy from here on out, though. They've been getting pretty bad. And once again, I believe that was the 5th boss that we just beat. So this time, after 3 more bosses from the last meal ticket in a chest we got, we're getting another one. And we're getting another one of these bonus sequences with Shield Knight falling from the sky in what I assume to be a dream. And with every new bonus round... Oh, by the way, the really nice thing about that charge attack, it will hit through shields. Every time you get to one of these bonus rounds, the enemies will actually become tougher. You'll get tougher versions of enemies you've already fought, or tougher mixes or compositions of enemies there. So, rescue Shield Knight again in our dreams, and we will take a meal ticket for our efforts and get that much closer to maxing our health out. And now with Treasure Knight and Mole Knight down, that reveals the map for the final 3 knights from the Order of No Quarter. And then we can move into the endgame from there. But first, I'm gonna head back to the village once more to drop off this meal ticket. And let's see. Thought I had a scroll for him, or a music sheet. I promise I will get this name right eventually. Jesus Christ. It's like me trying to remember Mega Man weapon names. Yep, eat that shit up. And that's it for the village. And let's see, I have 7,000 gold, so I should go back to the outpost and finish upgrading my shovel. And then I'll pretty much be done with the things that I consider my endgame loadout, or my endgame items. So yeah, we'll get that 6,000 gold upgrade, which is a ranged attack that you perform with the regular attack button. Shoots a spark along the ground. You can only use it at full health though, so probably won't be seeing it that much. That's gonna do it for now though. Thanks for watching everyone. Take it easy. Have a good one.